So the guy runs into the hospital yelling, "Doctor, doctor, help me, I'm shrinking." Doctor calms him down and says, "No, no, no, settle down. You just have to learn how to be a little patient." Hi YouTube, I'm Dad. Adam here with the first actual mixing tip for my new channel here. This is something that I haven't really seen people talk about a lot. I from hearing recordings online, especially from home recordings, I think a lot of people could use something like this. You ever get in a situation where you record a real drum kit or even using samples and your kick just doesn't have thump, and you add EQ and you try to carve out some high end and try to carve out from other instruments, and you keep boosting EQ here and there, and all it does is really make it muddy, and it doesn't really have that thump, you know, that whoop sound to your kick drum. It's more, you know, more of a click, more of a solid hit, almost more of a tom sound than a kick drum. Check this out. I have 3 ways that you can add this, like, we'll call it sub kick sound to your kick drum. All right, we're over in Reaper here. I have a project that I've from my band Underground Hive. I'll just play you a little part from the chorus with normal EQ and compression things on the kick and some of my sends and effects, but it's kind of just missing the thump. So we're gonna try to add that here. So here, I'll just play this for a little bit. I mean, you can hear it. It sounds decent. I'll solo it out here, and this is with all the EQ, compression, and I have a number of sends, parallel compression, and some other things. Maybe I'll get into another video. I'm not going to get into it here, but here's what the kick sounds like just by itself. We're getting decent recording levels. Everything looks good. A few of the EQs I'm doing a PuigTec 60 hertz, doing the PuigTec trick where you set the boost and the attenuation at the same thing on a certain frequency, and it kind of boosts it and carves it out in a nice place. I'm also adding a little bit of high at almost 3K here, yeah, 3K. A little bit of high is about 3 dB there, and doing the same thing with that. So that's just kind of a carving EQ, and then I have an SSL channel on it where I'm doing some more boosts here. Pretty good on, you know, 6 dB almost boost at right at 58 hertz, same thing. Carving out a little bit of 300, boosting a little bit for the top end, like that snap, just shy of 2K, and then 90 dB boost up here at almost 6K, and then compressing it with a reasonable amount. Then I'm adding a lot of parallel compression to it, as well as a clipper and a little bit of verb just to give it more of a body. What I really want to do is I want to give it more thump, and the cool way to do this is by using a gate and a tone generator. So let's take a look at how we do that. All right, I'm gonna create a new track here. We'll call it, I don't know, sub kick. Seems fine. And what we're gonna do is make sure that we have both of these solid. I want to turn the fader all the way down in the sub kick. You'll find that out in a little bit why. And then I want to add, there's a built-in Reaper plugin called Tone Generator. And I'm adding that to the channel. I want to add the frequency to 60 hertz. And I think I can keep everything the same. And what this will show is when I'm going to bring up the fader, you'll be able to hear this tone. And I'm not doing it to do it too loud. 60 hertz at super loud, if you're listening to earbuds or whatever, can kind of blow your hearing. So I'm not going to do that. Turn it down for now. Next thing we want to do is add a gate, and we're going to add that to the sub kick track. So we're going to go in here and go add FX, add ReaGate or ReaGate. Is it ReaGate? It's Reaper, so it should be ReaGate, but there's the A in there. So what is that? Anyway. What we want to do in here is we want to change the auxiliary, the detector input to auxiliary input, and that's because we don't want to have the entire copy of this of the kick sent over here. We just want to have the triggered copy. So then, next step, and we can leave all the settings here alone as we get. We want to have the trigger in first. So next thing we want to do add a send from the kick track to the sub kick track by clicking on this route button. Turns into this little audio jack thing, and just drop it on the track anywhere. And you want to change the these to 3 and 4. You may have to go to new channels on the existing track and choose 3 and 4 from here. I've done this already in this project, so that's already on this list right here. So there we go. And now if we start playing the kick, we can see the threshold. As we move the threshold up, we can see it start coming in. So we want to get it so it hits pretty good. And then what we want to do then is bring up the sub kick volume. And then if I solo just the sub kick, you can hear it, just a little thump in there in the background. And it's 60 hertz thump, which is essentially where we're at. I could have done 58 because that's technically the frequency that I chose, but anywhere in the probably 55 to 65 range. And you can bring the volume up on this decent amount. So if I solo both of them again, so now you hear a little bit of a thump. There's a couple things you can do here. You can change, and I'll do this with this soloed. You can change the release and the hold times. I would leave the attack at 3 milliseconds. That's fine. See how it thump, and the same with the put that back to default. Same with the release. You can we can just leave that at the default for now, maybe a little more. And then if you run into situations where there's a kick that's not as strong, you can bring the threshold down. It's picking up a lot more here, so you want to just right at the edge. And I get that extra thump in there. So then if I solo just the drums, and if I solo, or if I unsolo it and just play with the whole band. Brings that thump in, gives it an extra, extra goodness there. There's a couple other ways to do this though, and let's we'll mute this subtrack for now and turn off the. There's a free plugin out there from Wavesfactory called SK10. It's a sub kick simulator, and it does everything that I just did in a really, really, really fast and easy method. And I'll just kind of play this here. We'll set this to the factory defaults, and I'll just kind of play. So this turned up pretty good. So you can hear that this is almost all submix now, and then this is all kick. Usually about equal. This is the low pass where it's going to really filter it in. And what frequencies it's doing, and then this is the actual amount of the entire effect. So then with it off, and then with it on. And you don't really want to crush this. You want it to be subtle, because this can really kind of cook your mix if you have way too much thump. It can trigger subwoofers and things like that. So that's with the SK10. And then there's another one. I have a send here that I've created. I call it a max bass because I ripped off Brandon Heyer's mix minute videos. By the way, if you have a chance, Noise Floor AV is his channel. If you have a chance to check out his videos, he puts out quality stuff. Really appreciate some of the stuff that he's done. He had a series on mix minute videos for drum parallel sends, and I've grabbed a number of them from him and kind of turned it into my own. On the max bass, I'm using Waves R bass, or Renaissance bass. What that does is it takes a frequency and enhances it in all sorts of magic ways with, you know, very, very few settings. So you see here, you know, there's like a frequency, intensity, and then an output gain to match. What I have done, and let me solo just the max bass here. And I'll turn this up. It adds that thump. Put it at 60. I'll turn up even a little bit more. And this is getting a send from the kick drum, so it's part of the kick signal, but it's also a lot of the bass signal. So what I'll do is I'll bring this all the way down, solo out my kick, and then bring up the fader on the max bass to and in this mix, I've actually liked the combination of the SK10 and the max bass, or the R bass. So I want to use both of them. And you might ask why I didn't put this R bass on the track itself and why did I do a send? Every once in a while I use a different instrument and want to send that to it as well. Sometimes like a real deep vocal effect I'll use, and that like a troll vocal, and actually we'll have a video on that sometime down the road here on this channel. I like to send other things to it, and I like to have my options open, whereas the SK10 is meant for a kick, so I'm going to throw it on the kick channel by itself. But here with both of these on at the same time, and you really get a lot of thump. So both off. And then both on. And in the mix. All right, that's it for this video. If you like what you see, hit the like button, leave me a comment down below. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. This is YouTube. This is you guys that like famous for telling people what they do wrong. So please tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I'm doing right. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. I'm hoping to put out videos on a fairly regular basis here. Hit the little bell thingy so that it can annoy you in the middle of the night when I upload a video. And if you really want to help, I have a link down below for to buy me a Coke. If you want to buy me a Coke, I like Coke. I like all the sugar. I like the caffeine. I like the pretty red cans. It's polar bear season for Coke, so buy me a polar bear Coke with the link provided below. Thanks again, and until next time, see you later. Maybe you could find your own cowbell. In fact, note to self, let's do a cowbell video at some point. That would be cool.